Welcome back, guys, and today our topic is going to be about the mainstream media and some things that should concern you. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below, and let's get right into this. The mainstream media, which is made up of more than 90% of the entire media, is owned by 15 billionaires and 6 corporations. That sounds crazy, because that honestly is. Think about that. 90% of the shit that we see on television or through the internet is owned by 6 corporations. And as you can see from this chart, those 6 corporations are Comcast, AT&T, CBS, Viacom, Disney, 21st Century Fox. But think about that. 6 corporations, 15 billionaires own 90% of the entire media in America. And yet, Democrats and Republicans will still call each other's news fake. But I don't think that they realize is that both sides of their news is fake. When you only have 6 corporations that are greedy, because one of them is Disney, Comcast. We all know how greedy those corporations can get. Okay, look, if you think like ABC News or like some shit, or CBS, whatever, Fox News, if you think that those are fake news media, you're probably right to some extent. They probably do manipulate their stories to cover their own asses, to cover their bosses' asses. And also, isn't it kind of weird how these media, what they'll do is that they'll shine line upon some stupid shit, right? But when it comes to actual world issues that matter, like Puerto Rico, whatever happened to Puerto Rico? We never heard from them again, but we still know that they're in a terrible state. Yet nothing has been done to help them. And that's some shit that personally pisses me off. Everyone thinks that the mainstream media is either right or fake, and they think it's always and it is only on the other side, which is clearly false. It is on both sides, no matter what way you look at it. What people gotta realize is you have to stop watching the mainstream media. You gotta do your own research, self-inform, do things like that. Because when you get your information only from the media, even if you watch Fox News and then you go watch like NBC or some shit, that doesn't matter. They're both still feeding you lies. They want you to think whatever they want you to think. Real journalism died a long time ago. Now, something that does piss me off about liberals and Republicans is that they always blame each other for having fake news. But what they can't get through their thick skulls is that both the liberals and Republicans have fake news. Both sides are brewed with hatred, and people just don't see that. If you're a liberal and you call Fox News out for being fake, have you ever tried looking at your own news sources like CNBC, ABC, and all that shit and just realize all the lies that they spit out as well? You can't critique Fox News of fake news if your own news is consisted of fake news as well. Same thing if you're a Republican. If you're out here calling CNN fake news, but you're watching Fox News and you're not calling out the bullshit on Fox News, you're also being a bullshit artist, and you're also being a hypocrite. And you can't get anywhere, especially in such a complicated and controversial topic that is of politics. You see, you can't fight each other with ignorance, and that's all America has been becoming. All it's been becoming is who can own who. I can own the libs, I can own the libtards, or I can own the crazy Trump supporters that are racist. That's not productive. How is fighting each other with ignorance and fake news and lies productive? This is what America needs to wake up to. America needs to wake up to the fact that the grand media, that the quote-unquote mainstream media is always right, and you have to follow me because this is what X said about Y. It doesn't matter. People have to everybody has to realize that you're not the smartest person in the room. And that's definitely a problem that's going on in our American society. Everyone thinks that they're the smartest person in the room, yet nobody can shut up and listen and critique each other. Ever wonder that? For instance, on CNN, you have that the lockdown is killing millions upon millions of people. It's killed 1 million or 2 people, I believe, worldwide. And in America, we're only in like the maybe perhaps 1 or 2% death rate, which is a lot. 200 deaths, 100,000 deaths is a lot, no doubt about it. But to say that we're in such a crisis that everyone's dying left or right, that's bullshit. But it's the same thing on Fox News. It's just fear mongering. People are saying that, oh, they're gonna take guns away, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, but they're not gonna. People have to realize both sides are fear mongering, both the left and the right. Okay, I want to make this point actually. There is the Democrats and there's the Republicans, right? And then there is what we see on TV and on the internet, which what I like to call is the social right and the social left, or the internet right and the internet left, which is basically just clips and information compiled about shit that we see online. For instance, when you think of a liberal, what do you think of? You think of a crazy person that all they do is scream and yell and they have no rationale behind them, right? But that's an image that's been painted through social media and through the mainstream media. Same thing with Republicans, right? When people think of a Trump supporter, they either think of them as a hillbilly or a racist and someone that has no morals. But that's not true. There are many Trump supporters that that can think right, that are rational, right, that are smart. But you don't see that because it doesn't get clicks or views. Do people understand that people like outrage, people want to get negative, people want to get angry. But do people really want to do that in order to keep moving forward, to keep making progress in our society? I don't think so. I think that a lot of this is being fed by the mainstream media. A lot of this bullshit is causing division. Furthermore, I just want to say this. Ever notice how both sides don't take any responsibility for their mistakes or actions? You know, right? Like I said, Fox News, they can have some fake news. They won't apologize for it. They'll get called out by CNN. But if CNN has some fake news, they'll get called out for it, right? But they don't actually ever do anything about it because they have no opposition. Mainstream media has no opposition. They own most of the media, 90%, over 90%. That should be scary to both liberals, Democrats, Republicans, conservative, whatever you are. Here, let me tell you something. I don't give a shit where you stand on politics. I don't care if you're whatever. If you can show me that you can rationalize decisions and self-inform, that's all that matters. But if you're a sheep that brainlessly follows anyone, including myself, then you're an idiot. And that's simply what it comes down to. A lot of Americans, even now, a lot of Americans have more time than ever to spend with their family and all that. And they still just sit on the couch and just watch some fake BS like Fox News or CNN. Something needs to happen in America to change this with our political climate that's currently going on. Conservatives definitely need to understand where some liberals are coming from and vice versa. Liberals need to understand where conservatives are coming from. But again, like I said, it's a picture has been painted for the left and a picture has been painted for the right. If you are a right, you are either irrational or a racist. And if you're a liberal, you are either irrational and violent and a racist. Right? But why does it have to be like that? Why can't you be a Democrat that's rational and that can have thoughts and conversations and be willing to change minds? And why can't you be a Republican that's willing to do the same and not be called a racist? That's something that I don't understand. Shouldn't we as a society, shouldn't we want to progress? Shouldn't we want to be able to have open conversations and be able to talk about difficult discussions like gun control or abortion without being able to get mad at each other? Isn't that what this country really needs? Is to be able to have open dialogue, and that's it. Be able to have constructive criticism, open dialogue, where we as people can actually get somewhere. I just want to tell you this. Our politicians aren't going to help us, right? Our politicians are getting paid while the American people are suffering and not getting any money. Is that we as people, we should be willing to want to change, because our government, corporations, they don't want change. They're making money off of us because we are the product. And we as people, we're not getting any of that government money. And that's something else that's funny that I want to point out, is that it's about socialism, right? A lot of people complain about socialism, and yet it's all the big corporations getting all the money. That's crazy. A lot of small businesses are being fucked over, right? And a lot of rich people are just getting richer while the poor gets poorer. This has been true for a long time now. And I just want to say, if people want change, they have to be willing to put their bullshit aside and their anger aside, and they have to be willing to sit down and have tough conversations. They have to be able to think rationally. I'm a big believer in Socrates when he said that not everyone should be allowed to vote. And to me, this is true because a lot of people are emotional wrecks. They will vote one way because they were told to vote that way, but not because they came to that decision themselves. And that's what I really want to help people. I want to be able to help people to be able to think for themselves, because that is way more important and way more effective than just choosing a side because, oh, a politician said this or that. But politicians lie a lot. And so I really want people to know this, that the mainstream media is lying to both sides. I don't want you to think that your side is right, because your side can't always be right. And that's something that both sides have to see. Thank you for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe, hit that comment, share this with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time.